passionate horticulture farmer with a focus on the tomato plant. But his is no ordinary farm. Dr. Akuku is harnessing the power of big data and artificial intelligence to take precision farming to the next level, from better yields to smart decisions. He's showing how technology can transform farming into a more efficient and sustainable practice. Let's take a look at his incredible journey.
Meet Dr. Boniface Akuku, a tech innovator turned farmer, fondly called the grandfather of digital agriculture in Africa. Once the head of IT at the Kenya Agricultural Research and Livestock Organization, he's now nurturing tomatoes on his 60-acre Kilimo Hakika farm in Mashuru, Kajiado County. After 3 years in the fields, he says it's been a challenging yet rewarding ride.
Many times people do farming not as a business. People do farming because my neighbor is doing it. People do farming because I've been told farming is good, but not because as a business. And then you have to ask yourself, which of these value chains is profitable? So we call it high value, high risk, high returns. And that's why we chose horticulture, because it's high value. You can produce quality crops, which has high value in the market, and we can also get high returns, but you also must prepare this high risk. When we started, we were hit by a disease called tuta absoluta. You see 10 acres like this or more is hit by tuta. You just go to harvest, they just producing water. You can't sell to them, just throw them away. And you can lose your whole production. Then it comes now, after you manage your production, the other challenge is now the market.
Tomatoes are the heartbeat of this farm, carefully segmented to ensure a steady supply to the market all year round. But this isn't your ordinary farm. Dr. Akuku's expertise in ICT has transformed this venture into a high-tech operation.
So other than the pest, there's also what we call the feeding regime, the nutrition part of it. How do you feed your crops? Either you give it too much, the crop doesn't need all of it, or you give it less, the crop will not get sufficient nutrients. So you also have to know what is the right amount of nutrition in terms of fertilization that you need to give your crop, and even which type of fertilizer at what stage, because there are fertilization you need when the crops are just being planted, because they need nitrogen boost. So you need to plant with those fertilizers that have high nitrogen. Then you know when the crop's at a certain stage, every stage of the growth stage, critical growth of this crop, you must apply the right fertilization, the right nutrition, and the right feeding, and the right quantity.
One of the digital solutions that we're talking about is FAMDA from Agrom AI. And these are people who we give them the geomap of the farm, and then they are able to use satellite imagery, machine learning, AI, and big data to assess the nutrient component of several blocks of the soil of the farm, of different blocks of the farm. They are able to monitor stress. They are able to monitor plant health, and give you a map, a color map of the different blocks of the farm on how the crop or the plant is doing. You, as the person, they give that in a platform, in terms of an online platform, and reports and image reports and write-ups to give you an insight onto which areas need which actions. Like, for instance, which area should you water, which area should you supply more fertilizer, and it brings efficiency into the farm as to which area needs more fertilizer or which area needs less fertilizer, so that you don't just invest in pouring fertilizer or pouring water or pouring nutrients to a farm that does not need them.
The farm is also a knowledge hub. Through partnerships with agricultural input companies, Kilimo Hakika trains farmers on the latest technologies and best practices, empowering them to do more with less.
There's a gap between the producers of technologies and innovation and the farmers, where a lot of technology has been produced, a lot of knowledge exists, but it's not being applied in the farm. So they do this for the farmers, but not with the farmers. So we decided now to do it as being as in practice, so that what we have seen from research, what we have seen from knowledge generators and investors, we apply it in practice, so that we can prove that these technologies are working or they are not working. And if they are working, why and how? If they're not working, why and how? And what can be done to make sure this technology can scale and can create impact? Because we still have food shortage in this country. We still import a lot of food. In tomato, we import from Tanzania, from Uganda, from Ethiopia. We would import some in terms of paste from Egypt and all of these other places. So we still import onions. We still import cabbages. We still import everything from other neighboring countries, either as processed food, processed value addition, or not processed.
These blue strings, part of a process called staking, might not be digital, but they are vital for keeping plants healthy by improving aeration and reducing moisture-related diseases.
With climate change, which is the biggest issue, a lot of farming aspects in farming are really unpredictable. Diseases, there are new diseases for the same old crops that we've been doing. There are new pests for the same old crops, and the weather is also quite unpredictable. And so with all that, then it is important that someone who wants to go into agribusiness understands these dynamics and also be able and willing to invest in measures that counter these new dynamics.
And then there are brokers. Dr. Akuku learned the hard way when middlemen took advantage of him earlier on. Now, digital marketplaces and direct selling have cut them out of the equation.
The solution is that we worked around and got a trusted trader who sells on our behalf and does not run away with the money. Yeah. So what I'm saying, and by the way, these are realities, because one of the reasons why farmers have given up, they have lost money, either through brokers buying from the farm, giving low prices, or we sell there and then the money gets lost. So these are realities. They've lost money.
For those dreaming of farming, his advice is simple. Be passionate. This is not for the faint-hearted, but if you embrace the challenges, it's worth every effort.
All this need a coordinated management. You have to make sure you do know where to get the seeds, do you know when the right spacing, do you know when to apply what nutrients, what chemicals in terms of preventing pests and diseases. And that's why mostly telephone farmers fail, because you're just calling and saying, oh, today have you planted, have you done this? Yes, we have done this. Or have you done this? But you are not there to see. And you're not there to know whether it was applied or not. And of course, you expect them not to tell you they have not done it. Of course, if they're not to tell you they have done the wrong thing, the answer is always obvious. We have done that.
At Kilimo Hakika, tradition meets technology, paving the way for a smarter, more sustainable future in farming. For KTN, I'm Paul Thiongo.
Well, quite an incredible story there by Dr. Akuku, and one, of course, that we will be getting into much more in depth during the conversation that we are having in just a few minutes. But first, before that, on today's show, we want to explore how you can leverage AI and ICT in horticulture. And tomatoes are taking center stage in this show as a crucial crop for this innovation. So let's check out the latest prices for this key commodity across various markets right across the country and see how it is shaping up in the agricultural landscape. Take a look. Well, of course, amongst all those markets, Nairobi is the epicenter. So, of course, we'll be updating you that later on, whatever the price is. For now, we want to take a short commercial break. Of course, on the other side of that break, our conversation around AI and, of course, big data in agriculture in